Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Beers and Bullshit. My name is Cole, and we're going to be hanging out together today, drinking some beer, talking some bullshit. I'm excited to have this out here today because I got a special guest for me. It's going to be my oldest younger brother, Carter Blenner. He's making a little pissy face right now because the beer I chose for this podcast. Carter, how you liking that?
It's hoppy. It's hoppy, bro.
It's hoppy, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's like a bunny on cocaine. It's hoppy.
Yeah, definitely all over the place.
Well, that hoppy as shit beer that we are drinking right now, we're just going to dive right into it. It's going to be the Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing. This is probably one of my favorite IPAs that I had out in Vegas when I was living out there. The Sierra Nevada Brewing Company is going to be out of Chico, California. It was started in 1979 by homebrewers Ken Grossman and Paul Camusi. Sorry if I'm butchering that there. And they've grown into one of the bigger small breweries here in the United States, with an annual production of just over 1 million U.S. beer barrels a year.
Come on, put it out there, brother.
Yeah. Today, Junior. Yep. So that is going to be the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company with the Hazy Little Thing. This is going to be an awesome IPA. If you are an IPA fan, this is definitely going to be an unfiltered IPA. So you're going to get it's like orange juice with pulp if you're not an IPA drinker. Probably terrible definition of that, but no, it's just going to be a little bit more fruity, a little bit more kind of, I feel like a raw IPA, hoppy, obviously to the average beer drinker, but probably I don't feel like it's overall too hoppy, more balanced for an IPA. But then again, I've also tried like some Imperials that, unless you like to eat hops for breakfast, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, I've tried straight hops before, just like the plant or whatever you want to call it, and it is tart, and it's kind of how you say it. I mean, it's not bad at all, but this Sierra Nevada, every little sip I take, it's starting to grow on me. I do like it.
Maybe it's the hops that are actually growing inside your mouth. They're so strong, they started manifesting.
Oh, yeah, they're starting to build a city and colonize and shit. First it's going to be, the wheel. And
then start building pyramids in your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. It's just going to go from, finding the wheel. And then, next thing you know, you're going to have cars and muscle cars. And then it's just going to grow into flying cars and iPods.
All in your mouth from a beer.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an endorsement to the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company right there.
I know. Well, hopefully I get paid for it.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada hired this man.
When you were down there, can you actually do like tours through their brewery?
I was never at the Sierra Nevada Company because that's out in Chico, California.
Okay.
But yeah, you can actually go because there was a Love Lady that was in Vegas you could take a tour of. God, there was a Tenaya Creek was another local one. There's several breweries down in Vegas. I'm spacing on it right now, but
yeah,
there's a lot of really good breweries down there. And yeah, you can take a tour. It's not like the Budweiser tour, the Coors tour that we took. Definitely much more small scale. But still fantastic breweries. But obviously, they're not dealing with billions of gallons of beer that they have to produce. Much smaller scale.
My dream, billions of gallons of beer.
Wouldn't that be fantastic just to be a beer maker?
Oh, yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. I mean, you get to try beer for a living. I mean, and you get to perfect beer to a better taste.
Oh, exactly. Like you get the scientific aspect of it. And then every time your boss asks, are you drunk? You're like, well, I mean, fuck yeah.
I'm testing the beer, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's my job.
You don't want to sell shit beer to people. You want it to be good.
It's like wine tasting. You're supposed to spit it out afterwards. Wait, what?
Yeah. This bottle is gone, bro.
Oh, God, to be a professional beer taster. That would be the dream. Obviously, starting a beer-based podcast. I kind of like beer a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You get into it.
Just a smidge.
Definitely turning 21. Well, sorry, other people, but I've been drinking before I was 21.
I was about to say, 21, you mean 16?
Yeah, but no. Since I've turned 21, I've definitely went out of my comfort zone and experimented with different beer. I'm a typical, I like my Busch Light and I like my Fireball and I like my vodka, but with beer, I used to just stick to Busch Light, but since I've turned 21, I've definitely went out of the way. I've tried Coors Banquet and...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that your out of the box beers, Coors Banquet?
No, PBR I've done, which PBR is trash. You can pick up a 6-pack for I think like $3.99.
You're talking to a show where we've done stouts and IPAs, and you're just talking the run of the mill. You're like, yeah, I've tried Old Milwaukee. I've tried Old Milwaukee. This is a fucking domestic beer.
Some Red Dog.
Fun fact, Carter, Busch is brewed by Budweiser, right?
Yes.
Company our father works for.
Anheuser-Busch, yes.
Anheuser-Busch, which is owned by InBev, which is a foreign company. Yeah. So actually, Sierra Nevada is more of a domestic brew than Budweiser is.
Is it really?
Yep, hands down.
I have no idea.
Budweiser is owned by foreign subsidiaries.
So what about Blue Moon and what's that other one? Shock Top.
So I believe Coors. Let's see who Coors is owned by.
I know the local Budweiser distillery or place in town.
So yeah, we have Quality Brands out here who owns a bunch of different breweries, obviously, not breweries, but beer distribution joints all throughout the Midwest.
And they do distribute, they do Shock Top to where Fisher does Blue Moon.
Yeah, so Fisher's the other beer distribution company here because Blue Moon usually is packaged because it's with the Molson Coors company, which does Coors and Miller Lite as well. And then, so they're actually based out of Chicago, Illinois. So technically your American beer company is going to be Coors out of the Budweiser difference there. Because InBev here, let's just go ahead and do the quick Google because that's what we have at the access of our fingertips here. We're going to go ahead and drop some sponsors as well. Since we're talking about beer, to Teddy's Sports Bar and Grill. Head downtown on Main Street to go ahead and take care of Teddy's as well. We're big fans of Independent Ale House for some great brews. A good variety as well. We want to shout out Pour 54. I've never done on this podcast before, but a big fan of them over there. You actually a really interesting program they have. Carter, have you been to Pour 54? And if so, tell the people a little bit about it.
Yes, sir. I've been to Pour 54. I think it is awesome. I went there with my mom when they first opened and before they had food and stuff there. I mean, it's kind of like Polly's, you got a little wristband on. You go up and put your wrist to the thing and then pour as much as you like. It charges you per ounce. And I mean, there's a great selection of IPAs. I mean, they still do have your Bud Light, Budweiser, stuff like that, but they have Stella, they have Ace and the more gluten-free beer. And I mean, just a great selection. I went down the line, tried a bunch of different ones that appealed to my eye. And I mean, it was a great place to go. I had fun.
Oh yeah, I definitely love Pour 54. It's one of those, you pay for what you drink type places. And yeah, just a huge fan of it. It's actually, I believe it was an old abandoned art gallery is what it is and you could definitely tell because rather thin set building with 3 different stories, a different environment. But yeah, I've gone there different times. I was there for the New Year's Eve party. Had some great times watching some football with friends. And, there's just been times where I've also, just kind of joined a buddy down there, catch a beer or two. And the variety of beer is fantastic. Whether you're a stout drinker, you like to get into Belgian beers, IPAs, or whether, you're just a regular old domestic and you just want to maybe branch out to like a Heineken or a Stella Artois, they have that phenomenal beer selection there. So we're going to go ahead and show a shout out to Pour 54. But back on topic here, actually, that AB InBev is the merged name of Anheuser-Busch InBev, and they're actually located out of Leuven. If I'm butchering that once again, I'm sorry, Belgium. So they're a Belgium beer company, but I would almost also give Budweiser because we're a little bit more favorable to the Budweiser brand ourselves, being raised off of it.
Yeah, being raised into it, being raised off of it.
Yeah, shout out to our dad, who's a Budweiser salesman here in Rapid City. But safe to say, Bud Light was on the tip of the bottle that had milk in it. So, well, we were raised by booze money. So, better than blood money, but it's just a step below the mafia out here in the Midwest.
Thanks for drinking. Life was great.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we appreciate every Bud Light everybody's ever drinking. Thank you for not putting me through college, but for at least making sure I had food growing up. I appreciate it.
Exactly.
So love you, Dad. Shout out there. But yeah, I'd almost give him a little bit more credence because Belgium has been brewing beers for like hundreds of years. Have you ever dove into like quads at all or anything like
Not
the thicker
really.
Belgium beers?
I've tried more of like a oatmeal stout. I've really gotten into those.
So the stouts are fantastic. We God, what is it? So we did a barrel aged one last time Jace was here on the podcast. Actually, that'll drop here today on Sunday, Valentine's Day. We're going to be doing the NFL season recap. But we did this beer from New Belgium that was fucking out of this world. It was an old fashioned style ale that had actually been aged in bourbon barrels. And it was phenomenal. So that was a great beer.
Sounds very good.
But yeah, we've also done like coffee beers on here. We'll definitely be doing stouts in the future just because Jace brews beer himself and he's a big, fan of darker beers. So stouts are definitely something you can get into, especially if you like the sweeter end of them. We've done peanut butter stouts on this show. And
I wanted to try that one.
So after the episode with Joe, we did.
Yep, after you guys did that, I was actually like, man, I should go out and buy that. That sounds really good because I've really gotten into stouts. I mean, I think they do like a milk stout somewhere, like a chocolate milk stout that I tried. I mean, it's definitely
Left Hand does multiple stouts because they have their regular stout. Which, if you don't know a stout, if you're just an average listener here, it's going to be similar to Guinness. Definitely darker profile. You're going to kind of get almost like a coffee hint sometimes from a lot of them. So darker roast kind of profile there. thicker body too. But man, I've gotten to stouts the older I've gotten to.
Maybe that's the Irish, in our bloodline, because like Guinness, that's a big Irish beer.
Oh, hands down. Well, I think that's just the drinking in our bloodline.
yeah, that's true. But no, I've gotten into some of those. That peanut butter stout looked pretty good, and just those darker beers I've kind of really got myself into, just because I don't chug it down like I do Busch Light.
Busch Light's water at this point to us. Yeah, if we had Bud Light in this booth right now, I swear to God, we'd have 6-pack each by ourselves. You just hear this. So, anyways, just a bunch of lip smacking and just a bunch of just hurlbacks. Paul's gonna have a fucking time editing that.
Call my girlfriend, babe. I need her ride home. All right,
babe, can you come pick me up? Carter, I'm at work. What? I got drunk at the podcast.
Yeah, I got drunk at the podcast. Oh, I want some Taco Bell too.
Good thing. Hey, it's close. You guys live on the south side now. Taco Bell is like a stone's throw away from your place.
Everything's so close to us. Rather than being in Box Elder, where it's a 20-minute drive to work.
Yeah, what you got? Back. Domino's. That's a 10-minute drive away. The gas station.
Domino's. You got the Loaf and Jug. You got J&L Market, and that's about it. Oh, and Dollar General, where those are popping up everywhere.
Have you seen the YouTube skit about Dollar General? It's like, dude, so to preface this skit, it's this board meeting with like 4 people, and it's like the CEO leading it. He's like, all right, that's fantastic. Yeah, we're seeing record growth in marketing sales. So James, tell us, how many stores do we have nationwide? And it's this guy who's like having a nervous breakdown. He's like, you know what? I don't know. Yeah. They're like, what? He's like, well, this is a map of 2016. Shows a couple of stores, like a couple of hundred on the map. This is a map of 2019. Yep. And then it shows like a bunch of red dots. And then it's like, here's a map of all of our stores as of today. And it's just a map that's covered in red.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the Verizon map, just covered in red.
Yeah, and so he's just like, at a certain point, our Dollar Generals are popping up other Dollar Generals.
Like I went having Dollar General babies.
Yeah. Like we went to this store, right? 1125. And we went in the back of it, and there was another Dollar General back there, another small Dollar General. That was 1125 and a half.
Exactly.
Speaking of, those dollar stores are money, man. So I'm so terrible with the names because they're all dollar based.
Yeah, Dollar Tree, maybe?
I think it's Dollar Tree, the one that's over on Haynes, right by my place.
Yeah, I think that's Family Dollar.
Family Dollar, yes, that's what it is. Yep. Family Dollar. I should know. I have enough of their bags. But it's like, seriously, it's the same product for a lot cheaper. So if you're looking for some money saving tips, who cares? Like, it's the place that it's almost normally accepted to shop in your sweatpants. So that's where I'm probably the most comfortable.
Dude, I mean, this might sound wrong, but my girlfriend goes to Dollar Tree all the time because everything's a freaking dollar. And I'm like, babe, we just need one thing. Okay. Next thing you know, she comes out with 19 things and spent $20. I'm like, babe,
but it's better than Target.
Oh, yeah. I was like, babe, what did you get? Well, I got a potato smasher. I got a potato peeler. I got this. I got a jacket for our dog. I got blah, 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 blah. I got plates. I got cups. I'm like, babe, we literally just needed a potato smasher. Like, where did all this other stuff come from?
Like I said, though, thank God for the dollar store, though, because try dating a girl who loves Target.
Oh, yeah. And then your bill is...
Yeah, $300 because she walked in there.
I should be lucky that she shops at the dollar store. I mean,
yeah, shout out to Abby
for $19,
Exactly. You got yourself a good one. Hold on to that.
Oh, yeah, I know. It is nice. I feel like the dad, like, have you ever seen that skit with the Target dads?
I love the Target dads. I was just going to bring that up. So,
I've been waiting to bring that up.
Yeah, what is it? It's Dude Dad. You Betcha.
Yep, Dude Dad, You Betcha. And what's that guy that always drinks Busch Light?
I can't remember. And Charlie Barron's is in there, too.
Yeah.
You know Charlie Barron's, the guy from Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. I love that skit, though. If you haven't seen the Target Dad skit, look it up on YouTube. It's about 4 dads, and the joke is because their wives are always shopping at Target and they're always stuck in the minivan that they meet these other dads. And so it's just phenomenal. They pretty much build this community. They go in all in, like, they have like a minivan that's a playpen, and they take rotations, and they're playing poker the whole time, and it's absolutely
it's like
hilarious.
A tailgating party at a Target.
And he's like, I used to dread going to Target. Now I clip coupons for my wife. It's definitely made my marriage stronger.
I feel like that every time Abby goes into Dollar Tree. I don't mean to throw Abby under the bus. I love her to death, but what was supposed to be like a 5-minute ordeal turns into like an hour. And I'm sitting in the car, you know, playing on my phone, listening to music. I look over, there's another guy in his car, probably waiting for his girlfriend. I look over, there's an old man in his car, probably waiting for his wife. I was like, should we start a Target Dads thing?
Yeah, the Dollar Tree family.
In the parking lot? Or just whip out a 12-pack of Busch Light and whip out some lawn chairs and start drinking, or what?
Yeah, babe, let's go. No, it's fine. You can go inside. Here's another $20. That'll last you like an hour.
yeah.
Right?
Babe, here's 40. Make it last. Hey, boys, we got about 2 hours on us.
You're handing your singles like it's a strip club.
Throw them out.
Here you go, babe. Yeah.
Hey, go buy a couple more things.
Yeah. You know, I hear they had dish soap on sale. What brand was it? You know I don't know the brand name. It's Dollar Tree.
Babe, I heard there's pans there too. We can make that casserole you've been seeing on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. You know that Reddit recipe you had?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's go for it.
Dude, honestly, I've gotten into Pinterest, and since I got that Instapot, it is a lifesaver, bro. You can do so much stuff on that. Like, we did a Super Bowl party, and the host made wings. Well, we made a dip. Bro, I threw that Velveeta in there, let it cook for like 2 hours on slow cook. Stuff was melted. I threw 2 cans of Rotel in there and a pound of hamburger that already cooked up. And shit, dude, stuff was done in 3-4 hours on slow cook. It could have been done quicker, but I didn't want to burn the cheese. But I mean, that Instapot is amazing, bro. It is so crazy what you can cook in there.
Well, I have the, really together. I have the Instapot and air fryer.
You got the duo.
Yeah, I have a PhD in adulting, peasant.
Yeah.
Fucking doctor, all right? Yeah,
your
I have a
adulting
doctorate.
level is like 1,000, and I'm still at like 89.
Yeah, you got to get an air fryer. That'll change your life. I about tagged you in a Facebook post. This lady was crazy. She was selling, it was like a Farber, where it's like a Walmart one. But it was like $10 for an air fryer. I'm like, dude, it's fucking cheap. And air fryers are fantastic, man. I've been making everything in there. I've been doing pork chops in there. I've been doing chicken in there. I mean, you can do anything in an air fryer, like sweet potatoes. Okay, so here's the deal.
You're talking my thing right now.
So get some sweet potatoes. Dice some fuckers up. Like, get them down. You can do chips. You can do cubes. Whatever you want to do with the sweet potatoes, right?
Yep.
Skin them. Dice them down. Toss them in a little bit of coconut oil, and then do some
that sweetness to it.
Yep, and then get some cinnamon sugar. Toss them in cinnamon sugar and air fry them for like 15 to 20 minutes. Oh my God, out of this world. They're perfect, like little like dessert bites. I actually made some when we were living together, and you and Abby were like, yeah, we're actually going to go to the lake, and my fat ass ate all of them before you guys got home.
Well, guys, we're going to take a 10-minute break. I got to go use my air fryer.
Yeah, let's go chop and do this real fast. Yeah, it's going to turn from beers and bullshit to like cooking in the kitchen. Let's fucking rock, boy.
Oh, dude, that sounds so good. I mean, so Abby went to Walmart the other day, and she comes out with a $40 air fryer. And I was like, babe, what'd you get?
So you guys have one now?
Yeah, she like just an air fryer.
There we go. Yes.
Pops out. And I was like, what'd you get? She's like, I got an air fryer. It's $40. I was like, damn, that's not bad at all. And since then, we've been using it for everything, bro. You know how oven pizza rolls are better than microwave pizza rolls because they
air fryer pizza rolls rule.
Dude, oh yeah.
So
I've done air fryer pizza rolls. We've done potatoes. We've done chicken. I mean, you put chicken in a bag, you cut it up, put it in a bag, let it sit in some Italian dressing for about 2 days. Then you can put it in there. And I mean, everything's dishwasher friendly. And I mean, oh my God, it's just so amazing. It gives that crisp that you don't have to sit and have that fatty oil with.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's literally
that you don't get from oil frying. Yeah, it's like it's a lot cleaner, crispy because. And here's the one white trash tip I will put out here for the air fry recipes.
I'm ready for it.
If you want to go there and get the El Monterey like breakfast burritos or any like the chimichangas or anything like that, hit those at like 350 degrees for like 10 or 12 minutes. Yeah. So it's like a nice light air fry. Oh, amazing! I would do so. I mean, right now I'm trying to monitor my weight, which is really weird. Doing a beer-based podcast, but before that, when I was total fat kidding it up, I would do them fucking breakfast burritos all the time, dude.
Oh, bro, we're in that stage right now. I mean, the first thing we air fried when we got it was those Uncrustables.
Yeah, I've heard those are good though.
Dude,
I've heard those are good. Air fried.
You put them at like 350 for like 5 minutes. They come out. You know, it's perfect on both sides. Take it out. The inside just perfectly. I mean, dude, I did one the other day, and I shit you not, bro. The peanut butter was warm, and the jelly, because it's in the middle, was still a little, like a tiny bit colder, but it was perfect because when you
That
think of
sounds
jelly,
fantastic.
you think of cold. Like because it's usually in the fridge. I don't know who keeps it in the pantry. If you do, that's okay.
Because I think we both agree, if you're doing an actual proper peanut butter and jelly sandwich, my way to do a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is peanut butter both sides, and then the jelly, so the jelly's in the middle, and then peanut butter's on the outside. And then personally, yeah, I've always liked to panini press my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or get out the skillet, do a little flip on it, because I love warm peanut butter and jelly. So yeah, that slaps in the air fryer. It's so good.
Oh my god, it is amazing. That air fryer. I mean, even if you're bored and totally you want to have a fat kid moment, and put your peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the freaking air fryer. It is amazing. I feel like adulting a level way up, bro.
Yeah, this is why millennials are way cooler. Not because one, I'm sure, didn't invent the air fryer, but because we have them now. So, yeah, this is officially the greatest time to be alive. Sure, there's political unrest and everything's going to hell in this country, but air fryers are a thing, and thank God for that.
Yeah, I was thinking, so, like, when you asked me to do this podcast, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, shit, what are we going to talk about? You know, what do I avoid? What do I not talk about? And speaking about millennials, I had a dream that we were talking about, you know, like millennials and how kids are nowadays sitting on their phones and how we were when we were kids. I mean, we'd stay out all night. Remember when we used to do four-wheeler sledding behind the four-wheeler?
Oh my God.
Do wars?
So
we'd have a couple ropes tied to the sleds behind the four-wheeler, and it'd be like Cole and his best friend, which were like 4 years older than me and my best friend at the time, Trace.
Well, because it was me and Drew versus you and Trace.
Yeah,
so it was
exactly.
Drew and myself. Drew Anderson, shout out, love you, buddy. And Trace Anderson, shout out, love you, buddy,
Love
too.
you, boys.
Great, pretty much family to us, you know, growing up. But yeah, Drew was a great friend of mine. Trace, you know, great friend of yours. And so it's funny because Trace, I think, is 5 years younger than Drew, 6 years, and then or even more maybe.
I think he's even still 4 years younger than me. I think he's 18, 19.
Yeah, and so he's like 4 years younger than you, and you're 4 years younger than me. So yeah, Drew and I easily had 7, 8 years on Trace, 3, 4 years on you guys.
Yep.
And so what our stepdad would do is we'd get sleds and we'd tie ropes behind our four-wheeler, and then when the streets were snowed in and everything in our neighborhood, we'd drag them behind the four-wheeler and go sledding around the neighborhood. It was like, you know, white trash skiing, if you would,
dude,
for the
it was
winter.
amazing. I mean,
and we tried to knock each other off. And there was one time, actually, I got Carter and I knocked him straight into a snowbank, and he got a bloody nose from it. Gets right back up and he's like, "Let's fucking go!" Like, he was pissed afterwards. But it's like we would have wars on this thing.
dude, it was all out war when you were on the sled. I mean, I think I remember one time it was yeah, we're doing the same setup, and I think I jumped over to your sled to try to tackle you.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, you did the crazy, like, and you were like holding on too, and Eric's just driving, like, and
he's just dragging like 3 people on one sled, and then Trace on the other sled, just sitting there like, what the hell's going on?
like Carter just pulls this mad ass moment where he jumps to the other car, like. You were definitely inspired by Vin Diesel in the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh my God, yeah, literally, do that. And for everybody listening, it's not as bad as they sound. You're only going like 10, 15 miles an hour, you know, as little kids.
It's mild child endangerment, not extreme.
Yeah, it's not extreme child endangerment.
No, but this is the shit I want to do with my kids when what happens, because it's like nothing really bad is gonna happen.
I think the whole time we did it, I think I maybe slid into a curb once.
Yeah, that time when, and like I said, you got up and you were pissed. You weren't crying or anything.
Yep.
You were like, let's fucking, like, and I think actually that's right afterwards is when you jumped over to the other sled too. But I mean, there was dozens of times that we did that.
It's so tricky too. I mean, it's like, what do? Do you try to throw a snowball on them, or do you try to steer your sled into them and knock them to the side and knock them off, or do you jump over? I mean, it's just so fun as a kid. And nowadays, what are these kids doing? I mean, they're making TikToks. I mean, go out and do it. Go out and do something. When you see those things on Facebook, those pictures on Facebook that has those electrical boxes, we used to hang out on those as a kid.
The ones that said "Do not sit on this."
Yeah,
bro, that was the spot.
Dude, that was literally the spot as a kid. We'd sit on those.
Talk about life on those boxes.
Or we'd sit there and, bro, you go ask your mom if I can spend the night.
Oh God, I remember going to war with you guys because so Carter, you guys had like a group of kids younger because at that time my group of friends was probably myself and like 5 or 6 other kids that were around my age. Drew, Brennan, Jaquan, Martin, Robert, JD, you know, all of that was kind of in my group, and then you were kind of like in the younger kids group.
Yeah,
and it was hilarious because it's all of like my friends and their younger siblings, and so like Fridays and Saturday nights were like this rush to ask our parents to spend the night at each other's house because it's like, no, the little kids are already staying here. Okay, shit, let's run across to go see if the older kids can stay here. And
Yeah.
it was like this really crazy group environment in a neighborhood. I feel like a lot of kids do have, but like you see a lot less, unfortunately, these days.
Oh yeah. I mean, you do see kids playing. Like you drive to a neighborhood, you do see kids playing outside, but I don't know. It just feels different when we were a kid. I mean,
It's like
it's
I
a
don't
big
see our
family
younger
in the
siblings
neighborhood.
having that as much as we did.
Oh yeah.
Like Joseph and Pearson, and you know, like generational changes. Obviously, like our parents are very promoting of getting people outside and stuff like that. So I don't think it's really on them. I think it's more of a generational change where they do have friends and stuff like that. It's not that they don't have friends; it's just you don't see like that like close community. And maybe it was different for us because ours was literally just like 60 houses on top of a hill in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Well, shit. I still remember when we got our first iPod, bro. And I mean,
Yeah, when Grandma bought, oh god, Mom was so pissed.
oh my god, literally. And I mean,
She's like, Tammy, everybody has an iPod these days. I'm gonna buy all the other kids iPods, okay? So like, just the boys get iPods. Well, Mom, did you have to buy them the 250 gigabytes? Well, if I was gonna buy them, one, I might as well get them the nicest.
yeah, exactly. Like love you, Mom, but yeah,
yeah, like yeah, Grandma was an OG for that, dude. Like well, it was always about being fair too. It's like, well, I bought these kids this, so like if one kid got an iPod, like I think actually you got an iPod the first time around, and then I got like a Zune and a video game. I was a little hustler, and I was like, well, the iPod's $250. The Zune's only $150. Can I do that, a controller and a video game? Well, yeah, as long as the dollars match up. And
exactly.
Our grandma was a saint for that. Fucking R.I.P. Love you, Grandma. But yeah, God, she was just fantastic for that. Just her, it always just had to match up and line up. It was always.
She always wanted to buy us stuff. I mean, there was one time I was at her house staying the night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, all right, Grandma, I'm getting tired. Do you want to go watch a movie? She's like, yeah, we can go watch a movie because that's just what you did at Grandma's house. You went and watched a movie. And she's like, oh, yeah, let's bake some cookies. Goes, checks in the fridge. Shit is all I hear. We don't have any damn cookie dough.
The only thing in this fucking freezer is my cigarettes.
yeah, exactly. We don't have any damn cookie dough. Goes to Walmart at like, this time it's like 10:30, 11. Goes to Walmart at 11 o'clock at night in Spearfish just to go get some cookie dough. Like, oh, Grandma, Subway is open. Oh, you want some Subway? I was like, no, I'm all right, Grandma. She's like, nope, we're going to fucking Subway.
Oh, you want Subway? So my greatest grandma story was, so after, I was probably walking 3 days after my knee injury sophomore year. And I was driving. This was the first day I drove to school, and I drove to Sturgis to go watch the varsity football game. Because obviously I couldn't dress because, I was hurt. And so afterwards, it's like starting to rain and stuff. And Spearfish, if you don't know the Rapid City area and you're listening in, Sturgis is like smack right dab in the middle, but I'd say Spearfish is a smidge closer to Rapid. Like it's about probably 15, 20 minutes to Spearfish.
I think it is. It's
from
like
Sturgis.
The drive
I would say
from
it's easier.
Yeah, the drive from Rapid to Sturgis seems less than Sturgis to Spearfish.
You mean the other way around? Because I think Sturgis to Spearfish is the closer way.
I don't know. Every time I've driven it, I think Rapid to Sturgis ain't bad. Because, I mean, it goes so quick. You drive.
I feel like there's definitely more to look at because Sturgis to Spearfish is hella flat.
Oh, yeah. And then when you drive from Rapid to Sturgis, you got Piedmont, you got Black Hawk. And then you go through Piedmont. Next thing you know,
exactly, you're more distracted.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you have the cemetery and everything. So,
yep.
But anyways, we're totally getting off topic here. So yeah, I'm driving there afterwards, and I'm driving in the rain. I'm a kid, and not my fondest moment, but I'm keeping up with the speed of traffic of this car who is ahead of me. So we pass another car. I'm just getting to the Spearfish off ramp, probably going 7 miles an hour over the speed limit. When all of a sudden I see these lights kick on behind me. I was kind of pissed because I'm like, man, I'm following another car. Like, fucking pull this guy over. I'm just matching the speed of traffic. Whatever, still speeding. And so I get a speeding ticket. And this is my first speeding ticket. I'm like 15 years old. And so I call my grandma. I'm like, hey, I'm just off the off ramp right now. I'm just getting a speeding ticket from this cop. Just to let you know that. And then all of a sudden she's just like, all right, well, Walmart's right there. Let's just go ahead and meet in the Walmart parking lot. And so we meet in the Walmart parking lot. She buys cookies, of course, because grandmas and cookies just go hand in hand. Oh yeah, she buys some cookies, and then she's just like, you know what? Let me just take care of the speeding ticket. We don't even need to tell your mom. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. She's like, it's Lawrence County. I'll take the speeding ticket. I'll write the check. And I'll go drop it off tomorrow after I drive you back home. Or after, I got to go back into town anyway. So she follows me back home the next day. She tells me not to tell my mom. And then literally by the time we get back, I'm about to walk into the house, grabbing my, bag and everything. And she comes, to visit and everything. She followed in her truck. And then she's like, all right, so I couldn't keep it from your mom. I had to tell her. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks for telling me 2 seconds before we walk into the house. Like, I'm about to go deep cover here. Like, I was devastated. I was 15, got my first speeding ticket. So
Grandma would always say, hey, don't tell your mom. And then she'd feel guilty and tell her right away.
oh my, she was the worst at it. She's like, keep this one secret. Keep this, because she would just be like,
and then she
because I'm assuming she did this with Casey and Cohen Keaton and all the other grandkids too, because she'd do some shit where she was like, well, I haven't bought any of the other kids anything for a while. So if I buy you guys anything, you guys can't tell the other grandkids. And then Jesus fuck, the other ones would go up the next weekend and they'd have new toys too. And I mean, like, not like we cared, you know what I mean? We're not that type of family and everything.
Like,
but
Grandma,
it was so funny because we're like trying to keep the peace. And it's just like, and they're like, did Grandma buy you guys anything? No. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, she got us this. Okay, well, yeah. So she actually she got Carter a toy, and I got like a video game, and da. So it was just like our grandma was just this hilariously just back and forth with just like a little ounce of crazy just to make her so much interesting. But like most awesome. Loyal family woman you'll ever meet in your life. Loved her to death. So, but yeah, I mean, just these hilarious moments because we'd go out to dinner too, and our mom is like a junior version. She's a lot like our grandma is. She's a very loving, caring person. But she's very unique. And so like her and grandma would just go after the check together.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember going to Applebee's. Like grandma would be like, and so I'll take my steak medium rare and I'll go with the side of mashed potatoes and just remember that the check comes to me. Mom, no. And just like it's this back and forth.
No,
always.
Mom, I'll get the check. Blah 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 blah.
It's like a battle of wits. Two Minnesotan women. It's like the accents would come out too.
Well, that's how me and Talon were, rest his soul. But me and my best friend Talon, we would fight for the check, bro. I mean, there was the time we went to Subway, right? And we ordered or whatever. Talon tried stepping in front of me, and I was like, bro, what do you think you're doing? And he's like, I'm paying for it. I said,
excuse me, bitch?
Yeah, I said, no, you're not. Step right in front of him, and I slide my card in real quick, pull it out. I was like, you ain't paying for it this time, boy.
My turn, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that's the way like our whole entire family's always been because like JJ's like that in the family too. Like Ben was like that when I went down to Denver. You know, he bought all of our dinner. Yep. We went down there, and so like I mean, that's just kind of the way we were raised. You know, it's just
how our family is. Very generous, very, very good, caring.
Oh, exactly. It's like take care of a person. Don't worry about like getting it back.
Oh yeah, it's just money, dude. You'll make more.
Yeah, exactly. Probably not the best financial philosophy to have. Once again, we don't get financial advice on this podcast. Yeah, just fucking blow it.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
I mean, you got two different stands. I mean, you either got spend your money and have a good time while you're young or save it and set yourself up for when you're old. But why not do both?
It's always a balancing trip, right?
Oh, yeah. Spend your money right.
So, kind of growing up here, obviously, Bud Light and Busch Light is kind of your go-to. What would you say is your other shitty domestic beer choices?
Whoa, shitty.
Come okay.
Give me some credit.
Run of the mill.
My go-to?
Yeah.
I already said Blue Moon in Alaska, didn't I?
Is Blue Moon about as far as you'd venture out?
No. Probably as far as I ventured out is that dark beer.
Okay, so question here. Let's go with random. Let's go pop quiz here. I'm gonna ask you. You're gonna ask me. Think of some people off the top of your head. What kind of beer do you think SpongeBob drinks?
No. Just no.
Okay,
well,
just so you guys know, I call Carter SpongeBob because he's got a very small gap in his teeth that looks like SpongeBob, and because he makes fun of me for things. Because we're brothers, I make fun of him for that. But real question. What does SpongeBob drink for a beer? I feel like he's definitely a sparkling cider. He's a White Claw person.
I would say like a more creamy, probably a creamy one. Remember that
stout?
Yeah, probably like a cream stout because off that movie, the SpongeBob movie, he was all sloshed up at that fucking
Goofy Goobers.
Yeah.
I'm a goofy goober, yeah. You're a goofy goober, yeah. We're all goofy goobers, yeah. Goofy goobers.
Sloshed up. He had his 5 o'clock shadow going on. I mean, he's leaning over the counter.
Do you remember when they're up there, they're dancing? He's like, I just want to say congratulations to Patrick and this giant peanut guy.
Yeah.
I just fucking love the SpongeBob movie to this day.
Oh my God. And I love those little like adult humor. you get out of the SpongeBob
because you don't
episodes
get it in
and movie.
TV shows anymore. Like parents are too PC on it, but it happened
Oh, yeah.
all the time in SpongeBob.
There's that little bit of adult humor that you don't pick up till you're actually like get that dirty adult mind. And you're like, oh, I got that.
Can we just commend SpongeBob for being like the king of internet memes? Because he's easily got like 15 different memes.
Oh, 100%.
That have just gone super viral.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But so yeah, SpongeBob is an oatmeal stout person. Squidward seems like a red wine type of bitch.
He seems really bougie, you know.
Yeah, like I said, red wine.
Yeah, plays the clarinet, you know, forms shit out of clay. Lives in like a nice rock, like an artist-made house. And Patrick's just that trailer trash. Like, I live under a damn
Patrick is fucking Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
Life's not about eating chicken fingers and getting drunk, Patrick. What the fuck's it about then, SpongeBob?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Patrick.
No, that is Patrick.
A rock is definitely the trailer park of the Sea Park community homes because SpongeBob lives in a pineapple under the sea. You know that one from the first line in the song. I almost want to say, "Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?" But then every other house down there seems like a fucking abandoned muffler. Did you know that?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah, all the houses down there are just like abandoned like mufflers and car parts, and then Sandy obviously living in a biodome.
Yeah, she's the one off thing. She's living in a glass dome underneath that she needs oxygen to get in. I mean, what does she just grow her own acorns and eat from her house all day? And then
I think it's like a science thing. She made like a biodome because you can make biodomes. I mean, in real life, so it's not scientifically impossible. But Sandy's definitely interesting. Could you imagine that Nickelodeon meeting? I bet you they got fucking hella baked because like they're proposing SpongeBob. Like, yeah, we got to add a new character to the show. This guy just fucking rips a line. Just a squirrel in an astronaut costume. What was that, James? Yeah, all right. Come with me here. Okay, this is a squirrel, and she's from Texas, and she lives in a biodome under the sea, and she works in an astronaut costume.
We'll call her Cheeks. No,
Sandy.
No. Beach related. Sandy Cheeks. Yeah,
Sandy Cheeks. And so it's just like, I'd love to go in these creative meetings because I'm like, man, that is crazy. You look at SpongeBob and just all the episodes that happen. The baby episode still sticks out to me.
I can't remember that off the top.
So the one where they pick up a little clam, and Patrick becomes the dad, and SpongeBob becomes the mom, and it's the old played on joke that, you know, piece of shit dad with SpongeBob being, you know, the overworked house mom and the baby's just shitting uncontrollably. She's just like over here and they're like hiding. They're like using the baby's diapers as insulation. They're hiding them in the walls and there's a dump truck out there. They literally got a whole pile and it's like the baby's shit like 17,000 times since he went to, well, not work, the Rock.
So the SpongeBob episode that I always remember is the hash slinging slasher.
Always.
When he's just super scared that this dude, like, about the hash slinging slasher, and the dude comes up, and it's just a normal guy with a spatula.
But who the fuck goes to apply for a job at like 2 o'clock in the morning? Because the premise of the episode was they turned 24 hours at the Krusty Krab. And the hash slinging slasher was what Squidward was talking about as like this fictional story. And then they had this hunchbacked.
Well, that's how Dennys got all their employees, I'm guessing. Dennys in town is,
yeah,
you got 2 a.m.
What are you doing at 2 a.m.? I'm just coming down from a fucking meth bench. By the way, can you flip burgers?
Yeah. Are you guys hiring?
Yeah, you guys hiring by chance?
I only say that because...
Yeah, are you up usually at this time? Yeah, every single night. Fuck it, you're hired, man.
Exactly. Can you make pancakes? Yes. Can you make sure eggs aren't burnt? Yep. Well, I guess you're hired.
I'm not going to lie, though. Dennys is like such a guilty pleasure.
Oh, dude, it's so good. I mean, I feel like they have more variety than Perkins. I love myself some Perkins, but I feel like they have a little bit more variety than Perkins. Because you can't just get pancakes. You can get peanut butter, banana, confetti, you know, jelly, whatever you want on your pancakes up there.
Dennys is like hooking up with your ex. Like, you don't really want anybody to know that you went there, but sometimes you just really kind of need it.
Yeah, you kind of crave it all the time. It's just
Carter doesn't feel that way because he's in a relationship, but no.
Yeah, I am strictly loyal, but no one is great. I mean, they got, you know, they had for a long time they had that 2, 4, 6, 8 meal. I mean, you could go there, and I think me and Abby did that, and we were not like, oh, we're on a budget, but we did get something off like the $6 and the $8 meal, and fuck, it was like $16 after tax. So
Oh, I
was
love
like,
Denny's omelets. I mean, they usually screw me up the next day, but man, they make some fat omelets.
Oh yeah, it's just like Fuji, bro. I mean, the second you go there, you are full when you leave, and you are at the toilet 2 hours later.
So, story we have to tell here about Japanese steakhouses.
Oh my god.
So, if you aren't familiar with the Japanese hibachi steakhouses, they are phenomenal. One thing they're always known for is their fried rice. It's just better when it's done in front of you.
Oh, of course.
So, the first time we went to a Japanese steakhouse, we're visiting Omaha, Nebraska, and we are visiting our Uncle John and our family down there. So, love you, John, Tiff, Cammie, and Kaylor, and everybody, down there with you. And so our whole entire family is meeting for Thanksgiving down there, and we're meeting at this Japanese steakhouse. I don't remember the name off the top of our head, but we have a great time.
Like
Everything's
Hana or
fantastic. Yeah, something like Hana Japanese related.
Yeah, or something like that.
And the bill comes at the end, and I think I'm like 15. You're probably 11, 12. And so
Yeah,
obviously mom
something
pays,
about
and the
right.
bill's about 120, 130 bucks. But she was just fascinated with this rice. Our mom was. She loved the rice there, and so she kept calling it $100 rice because of just how expensive the bill was. Our mom is a very frugal person, so.
And guess what, Mr. Cole Blender did?
So the next day, we were hanging out at our Uncle John's house. We're just kind of bumming around a little bit. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so we're not really going out, not really eating much, just because the next day we're going to have a bunch of shit, and then at the same time, we're going to have leftovers after Thanksgiving. So we're just kind of bumming around, and I'm looking, and everybody's kind of taking a nap. So me being the asshole 15-year-old that I am, I take my mom's leftovers, and I eat them. And so she wakes up from her nap like an hour later, and she's like, I'm hungry. I think I'm going to go eat my Japanese steakhouse leftovers. And goes down to the fridge, doesn't see her food anywhere, looks in the garbage can, and sees that her box is in there empty. And so she is running around the house. Who the fuck ate my $100 rice? And so
it's still a joke to this day.
Oh, yeah, I love it. And so she's just running around. She's like, who did it? I'm like, I did it. And she's just like, I'm ashamed of you.
I think that's the time I've seen that she's been the most pissed at you ever. Was not like when you like put a hole in the wall, or I put a hole in the wall, or we broke a table from wrestling.
When I ate the rice.
Yeah, it's when you ate the $100 rice. I mean, we could have broke a table, bro, and she would have been less pissed than the $100 rice. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, but she loves her $100 rice, and this is like the nicest woman you've ever met. So, I mean, for her to kind of go out there and just absolutely be pissed over some rice, she must apparently have some real affection for it.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I think everybody that listens to this podcast has eaten hibachi rice. It is to die for. I mean, me and Cole usually fight over leftovers the next day if there are some. If we go to Fuji, Cole always says, "Yeah, I'll take your leftovers." And I'm like, "No." You're kidding, right? And then we both get that fight looking. All right.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Who's taking the leftovers?
Yeah, someone needs to get in between. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'll pay for the bill just for the leftovers.
Yeah, you gotta secret that in just for the leftovers.
Just for the leftovers. So.
Oh, no, I'll pay for the bill for the leftovers. Just start, me and Cole bicker about it.
Speaking of getting into fights, and another story I wanted to bring up when I first thought about doing this podcast. It's way back in the day when we were kids. Let's bring up another sledding story, because we should have brought this up when we were talking about the sled wars. But let's go back to Canyon Lake Park when you're 3 years old and I'm 7 years old. So we're over in Canyon Lake Park. We're like on this 10 or 12 foot hill. And Carter and I are sledding on the same sled. My dad's taking us out, and it's just like a random Saturday in like December or January. And so Carter is just kind of being a little butthole because he's fucking 3 years old and I'm 7. I'm a little butthole myself. And so we're riding on the sled, and he like keeps like, I'm trying to like turn it and stuff, and he keeps messing up. And so
I think I fall off just like
he fell off the sled. Well, I will admit I may have slightly tipped it, and when I saw myself lunging towards Carter at the back of his head, I didn't move away and hit him. His face goes into the fucking snow and breaks his nose at like 3 years old. I'm a terrible 7-year-old. I'm a terrible brother by doing this.
Or something.
No, you didn't hit a tree that time. You hit a tree by yourself one time sledding. That was fucking hilarious. I'm pretty sure each of us has had at least 10 concussions away from football.
Oh, yeah. A bunch of Dane Bramage.
A bunch of Dane Bramage. Yeah. I'll be 65 years old not remembering shit.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I barely remember what I had for dinner 2 days ago, bro.
Right? Yeah. I barely remember what I had for breakfast.
But I think that trip specifically, I think I was like, Dad, Cole pushed me push me off the sled.
You did, yeah. You did like right away. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't push you. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, kid.
Yeah. That was fun. Nose all bloody. There's that time we were wrestling in downstairs. Remember that?
Oh, God.
Making a WWE and we have our belts and shit. and we'd watch
We used to have
WrestleMania.
neighborhood wars.
On commercial, we'd put our belts on, and me and you would wrestle. And then one time I got thrown into a table, and I think that's another time I broke my nose.
You've broken your nose like 7 times. Carter's broken his nose so many times that when you were 19 or 20 when you had surgery on your nose. He's had literal corrective surgery. You were still in high school.
I was 17 because I broke it in wrestling practice. And then the stupid thing is, I got it fixed fully. I think I was supposed to have the stent on for like 2 months, and the inside stents on for 2.5 months. But I went to Waitiki right after I got the outside stent off. And because my best friend at the time, Jordan, was like, "Hey, bro, let's go to Waitiki." I was like, "All right, I'm down." Doctor said, "Yeah, you're not supposed to be in water or anything." Went to Waitiki like 2 or 3 weeks after the surgery. And we're going down the slide. I'm bigger than my buddy, so I'm in front. Initially, when we hit the bottom of the slide, the tube flips over. I go down, and Jordan's head goes right back in the back of my head. And my nose just rails the concrete, right? And this is like 3 weeks after I have surgery on it. Probably like an $8,000 surgery.
Oh, Mom was pissed. She was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She's like, "I put you under, had this big expensive corrective surgery so you could just breathe right. Not even just like for looks or anything, but just so you could breathe like an adult because you'd broken your nose so many times and you go out to a tiki and just shatter the motherfucker."
I know. Dude, I shattered it. I get up and Jordan's like, "God, your nose looks like it's broken again." And I was like, "Well, is it bleeding?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, fuck it. Let's go down the slide again."
Literally, there's just no more blood left to give. It's just like your body's just like, "Nope, we're not putting any more blood up there.
We're not doing it.
It's a dead object."
You broke it way too many times. It's not bleeding again.
That is fantastic. Well, Carter, before we wrap up here or anything, is there any other stories or anything you kind of want to get to at all?
Fuck, I think we said them all.
I think we did. Well, we'll definitely bring some up for another time.
Oh, yeah. And I'd like to get out, do a shout out to this. How do you say it? Shilling?
Yep, Schilling's Brewing Company. We actually just did the last podcast with Siglin. We recorded it here right before Carter came on. Obviously, we'll be releasing at different dates. But the Schilling with that blackberry cider.
Yes, blackberry cider. So we ran out of I had one of those.
He had one of the IPAs, but it was a little too hoppy, so I handed him the leftover beer we had from last time, so he could pop a couple of those back.
Yeah, it's a seasonal beer. It's an Emerald City. It's a very good beer, about 6.7% alcohol content. It's more like it's definitely sweeter than that IPA and more mellow, not as hoppy, but it does have a good flavor to it.
Oh, yeah, it's light. It's a hard cider. It's going to be a fantastic beer if you're not like usually a normal beer drinker. Siglin just doesn't drink beer at all, the guy who I had on here for the NBA podcast. Yes, so, yeah, we definitely picked that one up, and he was a fan, and I'm glad you were a fan, too. If there's any left over, you're more than welcome to bring them home. So.
Oh, yeah, it is a very good beer. Love it. So, shout out to you guys. I'll be picking up a 6-pack on the way home.
Yep, that's going to be Boyd's liquor store once again on 8th Street as well, where we usually grab all the beer. We're going to throw a huge shout out to Top Wave Studios as well. Thank you, Paul Wolf, for always recording here. The Business Entertainment, who is huge friends and assets to the show. So we appreciate you guys, Paulie, Ethan, Bob, everybody else who goes along with that production as well. So just want to thank you guys all for listening to Beers and Bullshit, and we are out.
Peace.